Hello and welcome to the Headless Hammerhead Guide to Comic Books. Today we're going to continue our series on the Marvel Multiverse Role-playing Game. Today we'll be flipping through every single character in the Core Rulebook so that you have an idea of what to expect once you receive your copy. So let's get right to it. To avoid any copyright issues, I'm not going to focus on the entire character sheet for each one of these, but you see Abomination, Agatha Harkness, Phil Coulson, and America Chavez, AIM Agent Ant-Man. An average civilian stat, of course, Baron Mordo, and of course Baron Zemo. And we have Beast, of course, Black Bolt, I'm glad they put him in there, Black Panther, Black Widow, Blade, Blue Marvel, Brawn, Bullseye, Captain America, Steve Rogers version, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, Clea, Colossus, everyone's favorite Asian X-Man, Crossbones, Cyclops, Daredevil, Deadpool, Devil Dinosaur, Doctor Doom, of course they had to have him in there, Dr. Octopus as well, Doctor Strange, then you have Dora Milaje Warrior, Dormammu, Drax, Echo, Elektra, Emma Frost, the Enchantress, Forge, Gamora, Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes version, then Ghost Spider, Giant Man, Gore the God Butcher, Green Goblin, Groot, of course, Hand Ninja General Stat, Hawkeye, Clint Barton version, Hela, Hellcat, Hulk, the Bruce Banner version, Human Torch, Johnny Storm, Hydra Agent General Stat, then Iceman, Icarus from the Eternals, Invisible Woman, Iron Fist, and then Iron Man, Tony Stark, Jessica Jones, Juggernaut, Kitty Pryde, Killmonger, Kingpin, Kraven the Hunter, of course they had to have him in there, Leader, Loki, Luke Cage, one of my favorites, Magneto, Magnetron, which is interesting, Malekith, the Mandarin, and of course Maximus, Mirage, Mr. Fantastic, Misty Knight, MODOK, Moon Girl, Moon Knight, Morbius, Miss Marvel, which was interesting to include her there considering what's going on in the comics. Then you have Mysterio, Mystique, Nebula, Nick Fury Jr., Night Nurse, which was an interesting pick as well, Nightcrawler, Okoye, Photon, which is Monica Rambeau, Professor X, Psylocke, Quicksilver, Red Skull, Red Wolf, I'm glad they put him in there too, Reptile, Rocket Raccoon, of course they had to have him in there, Ronan the Accuser, Sabretooth, Scarlet Witch, Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, the Shield Agent General Stat, of course Shuri, Silk, a Skrull General Stat. It's interesting they put him as a tier 3. Spider-Man Miles Morales, Peter Parker, and of course Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, Squirrel Girl, Star-Lord, He's interesting at a 5. Storm, the Submariner, Namor, Sunspot, Taskmaster, Thanos, The Thing, Jane Foster, Thor, then of course Thor Odinson, Titania, interesting at a 2, taking on She-Hulk, who's a 4. Then Ultron, a general vampire stat, which is interesting too. Then of course Venom, you had to have him in there, and Vision. Then the Vulture, War Machine, the Wasp, White Tiger, Winter Soldier, the Laura Kinney Wolverine, or X-23 as she's better known, Wolverine, and then Wong. So they have a very good mix of different characters, different races, different power levels. I think it's a pretty good mix. There are a couple of things that are a little questionable. For example, Blade is a rank 4, and so is Iceman, who's an Omega level mutant, which is really strange that they think Blade could take on Iceman. But overall, I think it's decent. They're more or less well done. You can, of course, create your own version of these characters using the character creation method. And there will be a whole bunch of new characters presented from the comics. You're going to see the Marvel Multiverse Role-playing Game X-Men expansion. This one here is coming out soon. And that is going to have, if you see, this is going to be 256 pages, I believe it is. Let me scroll up here and see. 256 pages. A lot of that, I guarantee you, is going to be a bunch of new mutant characters that you can play. Same with the Marvel Multiverse Role-playing Game Cataclysm of Kang expansion, which is an adventure, but also an expansion. It's also over 250 pages. And it states here in the description that it will have dozens of new character sheets as well. So this will have a lot of other characters, playable characters that have not been introduced in the core rulebook as well. So there's a ton of characters that you're going to be able to play in the near future. And of course, it all starts with that core rulebook. I recommend you familiarize yourself with some of the power sets, the skills and talents, and of course the game mechanics as well, just to prepare yourself for all these other new characters that are going to be introduced. I think overall it's a good mix in the core rulebook. There's over 100 characters that you can play, and of course you can create your own, and many more coming up in future expansions. So it's a very exciting thing. I hope that you at least gotten some useful information out of this video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. And remember,
we don't bite here.